So then the thought is, well, it seems like it's too good to be true.
What would cause you to change your opinion about Bitcoin and feel differently?
I look at all these assets and the real question is there something better? Well, once you understand it, you start with the observation that it's the most successful digital network in the history of the world. It went from $0 to $1 trillion in 12 years. Google took 22 years. Amazon took 24 years. Apple took 42 years. Microsoft took 44 years, right? So this is the most successful thing ever unleashed in the history of humanity from an economic point of view. So then the thought is, well, it seems like it's too good to be true. It's that good. Okay, well, will it be banned? Will it be copied? Will it be hacked? That's the question. In 12 years, it's never been hacked, right? It's been tried a gazillion times. No one managed to hack the underlying blockchain. It's the most secure database network on Earth ever invented, primarily because it is this decentralized network of SHA-256 ASIC miners. And
I was just going to mention that.
It's billions and billions of dollars of hardware, and the only use of the hardware is to secure the network. So it just can't be attacked in a conventional way. You would have to spend 4 years and $20 billion to attack the tip of it. And there's hundreds of millions of people that know you're not going to keep that secret for more than a few seconds before the community attacks back.
So you make decisions, I'm assuming, with conviction. What would cause you to change your opinion about Bitcoin and feel differently?
Well, I look at all these assets and the real question is there something better? There has to be something better. Like, what would make me sell Apple stock? Well, if you had a better mobile network, what would make you get negative on Amazon? Well, if there was a better retail network. What makes you get short Google? If there's a better information network. If there's something better, otherwise, and I don't see anything better because...
Could Ether be better?
No, because Ether is much more complicated. It's much less mature. It's not $1 trillion monetary network that's purpose-built to be a store of value. Ether is attempted to be many other things, including the world computer and a smart contract platform. And it's going through a very rapid evolution technical cycle. So as it goes from Ether 1.0 to Ether 2.0, the entire basis of the network is going to change from proof of work to proof of stake. That introduces a whole host of questions. And so it'll be 3 to 5 years, probably 5 years after the Ether 2.0 upgrade before you can evaluate what it is. If you're a hardcore institutional investor, it's a different thing. I think that if you want to characterize crypto universe, you have one thing, Bitcoin, which is the dominant $1 trillion crypto asset network. It's in essence, if God created gold in cyberspace, he would have created Bitcoin. It's gold in cyberspace, but it's got none of the liabilities and defects of gold. It's an encrypted block of sunlight. You can move it at the speed of light. You can program it with 1 million transactions a second. You can use it as the base layer for the 21st century economy. It's completely transparent. You can't make any more of it. It's capped at 21 million. You can take delivery of $1 billion of it in the palm of your hand or hold it in your head. Okay, so never in the history of the world did we have such a pure form of monetary energy.
Should I be concerned that in theory, in their own way, governments could shut it down?
I think we just got to come back to this issue of will it be cloned? Will it be hacked? Will it be banned? It's not going to be hacked. It hasn't been hacked. Will it be cloned? People cloned it thousands of times and they all failed because once $1 trillion worth of money decides that it's going to put all of its money in this bank in cyberspace, they don't need the number 2. It's like there's a Facebook, there's a Google, there's an Apple. It's a path-dependent thing. Everybody's decided $1 trillion of money and 100 million plus people, they've decided that Bitcoin is the bank in cyberspace. Once you've adopted that one protocol, then it has $1 trillion worth of energy behind it. Debating that is no different than saying, well, what if someone comes up with a better language than the English language? Can we get everybody in America to switch? What if I come up with a better standard railroad gauge than the standard 4-foot, 8.5-inch rail gauge? Can we get everybody to switch? What if I come up with something other than TCP/IP? People aren't switching from English or rail gauges or protocols or whatever because there's so much economic inertia in the system. What if we decided we wanted everybody to love, Buffy instead of Coke? Well, Coca-Cola is the world's biggest brand. Warren Buffett understands it. Buffett-Cola is not. And that's because if I destroy everything that Coca-Cola has done for 100 years, if I get rid of all the money, all the trucks, all the signs, all the inventory, everything, you still got to murder 5 billion people because they have in their head the idea that Coca-Cola means carbonated beverage I can drink safely, right? What's in the head? It's the brand. So Bitcoin is in the head of 100 million plus people as being money, but it's in the heads of billions of people as the safest, most standard form. And the protocol is built into 100 million plus people's lives and tens of thousands of companies. You can't get it out. So that's why copying it doesn't work. And then as for the banning, well, look, it's property. And in the Western world, in Western Europe and the United States, they allow you to own property. So it's a choice between Bitcoin and silver, or Bitcoin and gold, or Bitcoin and ETFs, or Bitcoin and other property. And it is, and it will be wrapped in AML KYC regulations, just like other properties you can buy. And that's what makes institutions comfortable owning large sums of it. But it won't be banned in the Western world because we have a tradition of respecting property rights. And it's already been normalized as property by the IRS, the SEC, the OCC, the CFTC, and other related agencies. I think that's really a critical thing. Some people will say, well, I heard it's banned in China or something. Well, but in certain countries like China doesn't want you to get onto Google. That's banned. Facebook's banned. Twitter's banned. But that doesn't make Facebook, Twitter, or Google bad investments. So I wouldn't make my decisions based upon decisions that take place in China or India or Nigeria. I'd make my decisions based upon the prevailing view of the regulators and the society in the Western world. And I think that's come down very hard on one point. Bitcoin is property. Bitcoin is not currency. It is not a medium of exchange. The medium of exchange function is sitting with the fiat currencies, the euro and the dollar. The store of value function is migrated into property like gold, S&P 500 index, real estate, and Bitcoin, and other sorts of things you can own. And I think that's a very stable, logical development for the society.
Will central banks cripple Bitcoin with their own incoming central bank digital currencies?
Yeah, I don't think so, because I think central bank currencies are in essence digital currencies as a medium of exchange.
Right.
They're probably more threatening to Visa and MasterCard and existing payment rails, right? Visa and MasterCard are payment rails. PayPal, Square, Apple Pay, Google Pay are all working in one shape or form with some of those other payment rails. If I had a digital currency, maybe I could move dollars around on a different network. Maybe I wouldn't keep my dollars in an existing bank. I would move them to the central bank. So stable coin are these digital currencies. They have an impact, but they're probably more threatening to conventional banking system, because, when you buy a share of Apple stock or Tesla stock, you're buying it because you don't want to keep your money in cash. And so when the banks give you $1,800 of CBDC dollars, you're still going to make the decision, should I buy Tesla, GameStop, or Bitcoin? Nobody's going to keep it in CBDC dollars. I could keep it in dollars at JP Morgan. I can keep it in dollars at Apple Pay. I can keep it in dollars anywhere, but no one's storing their life savings in dollars. As a general rule, they're moving them either into ETFs, like ARK or S&P ETFs, or they're moving them into stocks, or they're moving them into cryptos, because they know that they're going to lose value every year sitting in currencies, right? So the CBDC, the central bank digital currencies, they're not really threatening to Bitcoin any more than they'd be threatening to Google stock, right? They're simply another way to move money around. What will happen? I don't think anything will happen fast, because I think it'll take them 4 years to study it and figure out all the implications around AML, KYC. And I actually think that there are plenty of institutions, large banking and traditional finance institutions, that'll be, concerned and want to slow it down to make sure that it doesn't impact their business. If I had $100 in the portfolio, every dollar that's not invested in Bitcoin is dilutive to your opportunity, and every dollar that's not beating the S&P is dilutive to your wealth. And so if you really want to maximize your opportunity, you want to move as much of your liquid capital as close to Bitcoin or the Bitcoin network as possible, because It is this monetary network that's going from $1 trillion, and presumably it could be worth $100 trillion or more, because the sum total of all money in the world is maybe $400 trillion worth of stocks, real estate, bonds, and the like. Half of that is looking for a store of value, and the other half, honestly, truly wants to be invested in stocks or bonds or real estate. We've lost price discovery in the financial universe. So the single most accretive way to use money or time is invest in Bitcoin, because you've got a once in a lifetime, once in 50 years, transformation where all of this $200 trillion of money sitting in analog fiat instruments is being encrypted and converted into a digital instrument, which is thermodynamically superior, right? That's the first observation. Time is money. Convert your money into Bitcoin or something as close to it as you can.